After several budget workshops and city council meetings, all but one Longview City Council member voted to keep the tax rate the same. But as KLTV's Lauren Tier reports, there are concerns that could come at a cost to city employees.
All in favor, please indicate with raise of hand. Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Thank you.
6 in favor, 1 opposed, and all faced with difficult compromises to make for their constituents. As approved at tonight's City Council meeting, the property tax rate for 2024 will remain 0.5169 cents per $100 valuation. One thing all council members could agree on was a desire to give pay raises to city employees for recruitment and retention purposes. One solution to pay for the raises was to raise those property taxes, but several members expressed concerns. Mayor Pro Tem Michelle Gamboa suggested searching internally with city money that already exists but might not be used effectively.
I just think we really do need to analyze our department, see what kind of waste there is in those, and figure out another way that we can get this done without going to make the taxpayer our first bailout.
Even though Councilman Steve Pirtle opposed the proposed tax rate, he did voice concerns for future councils if there was no pay increase, suggesting instead to pull from the reserve fund for 1 year. According to City Manager Rollin McPhee, there's a setback to that solution.
Using funds for the reserve for a recurring cost, such as personnel, creates a deficit of that same amount in the future, plus whatever inflation or whatever increased costs we see in the next year.
For now, the proposed budget does not include a pay increase for city employees, but city council members are still looking for other options. Lauren Tier, KLTV 7 News.
The next city council meeting is on August 22nd. The proposed budget will face final approval.